All right, welcome. Today we are going to tackle one of the most important and honestly most talked about metrics out there, click-through rate or CTR. If you've ever put a single dollar into an online ad, you absolutely need to understand what this number means for you.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever launched a campaign? You're so excited. You see the impressions rolling in, thousands of them, but the clicks? Barely a trickle. It's frustrating, right? You're not alone. So what's the secret? Why do some ads just grab your attention and make you click, while others are just invisible?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We'll start with the absolute basics. Then we'll get into what a good CTR actually looks like. From there, we'll cover why it's so important, what factors move the needle, how you can actually boost your own numbers, and then we'll tie it all back to the thing that really matters, your bottom line.
Okay, let's dive right in. What is this thing we call click-through rate?
At its core, it's pretty simple. It's basically a report card for your ad. It answers one question. Out of all the people who saw your message, what percentage cared enough to actually raise their hand and say, "Yep, I'm interested"?
And the math behind it? Super straightforward. Don't let it intimidate you. You just take the number of clicks you got, divide that by the number of times your ad was shown, we call those impressions, and then you multiply by 100 to get that nice, clean percentage.
So, for example, if 2,000 people saw your ad and 50 of them clicked, boom, you've got a click-through rate of 2.5%. See? Easy stuff.
Okay, so you did the math. You have your number. But is 2.5% good? Is it bad? Is it just average? That's the million-dollar question, right? So let's talk about what you should actually be aiming for. Now, as a general rule of thumb, this is a great starting point. If you're hitting somewhere between 3 and 6%, you're doing pretty well. Anything above 6%, that's excellent, pat yourself on the back territory. But, and this is a big but, it really depends on your industry. A lawyer might be thrilled with a 1.5% CTR, while someone selling hobby kits might not be happy with anything less than 6%. So context is everything.
You might be thinking, it's just one metric, but trust me, your CTR has this huge ripple effect. It impacts pretty much everything, from your campaign's performance all the way to how much you're actually spending.
I mean, the difference is night and day. A high CTR means you're hitting the mark. You're getting the right kind of traffic, which leads to better leads and hopefully more sales. A low CTR, well, that's like shouting into the void. You're paying for people to see your ad, but nothing is happening.
And here's the real kicker. Ad platforms like Google and Facebook love a high CTR. They see it as a signal that your ad is relevant and high quality. And they reward you for it. How? By often giving you a better ad position and, get this, a lower cost for each click. That's right, a good CTR can literally save you money.
So, we know we want a high CTR, but what are the levers we can actually pull to make it happen? Let's break down the 5 things that really make or break your ad's performance.
It all comes down to these 5 pillars. Is your ad relevant to the person seeing it? Is the creative, the image or video, any good? Is your call to action crystal clear? Are you showing it to the right people? And finally, where is the ad actually showing up? Get these right, and you're golden.
And don't you dare sleep on the creative. A study by Nielsen found that your ad's creative, the visuals, the words, the whole vibe, is responsible for almost half of its success. That's huge. It's not just about the targeting, it's about what people actually see.
Speaking of targeting, just look at this. You can potentially double or even triple your click-through rate just by narrowing your audience. It proves the old saying, it's better to talk to 100 of the right people than 1,000 of the wrong ones.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get into the good stuff. What can you actually do starting today to boost your CTR and get better results?
It really comes down to these 4 things. First, write headlines that make people stop and pay attention. Second, use images or videos that are impossible to scroll past. Third, tell people exactly what you want them to do with a clear call to action. And finally, never stop tweaking and improving who you're showing your ads to. And if you need proof that small changes matter, look at this. Just by changing a generic call to action like "learn more" to something more specific and personalized, you can see a performance lift of over 200%. That's not a small tweak, that's a game changer. Now, we've talked a lot about clicks, and getting a high CTR is awesome, but we have to look past the click. That's just the first step on a much longer road.
Because let's be real, clicks don't pay the bills. The real goal isn't just to get a bunch of clicks, it's to make a profit. Your return on investment, or ROI, is the ultimate measure of whether your campaign is actually working.
So, you need to be tracking these deeper metrics. What's your return on ad spend? For every dollar you put in, how many are you getting back? What's it costing you to get a new customer? And is all this actually adding to your net profit? This is the stuff that really matters.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Go look at your campaigns. Your click-through rate might be fantastic, and that's great. But ask yourself the tough question: are these clicks just vanity numbers, or are they actually turning into profit?